Today we're checking out the BDS dual steering stabilizer kit with NX2 Nitro shocks for the 2 to 9 inch lifted 2005 and newer 4-wheel drive F250 Super Duty. This kit is a great option for those Super Duty owners looking to eliminate bump steer, reduce wandering, and improve steering control under load or off-roading. The standout feature of this kit is going to be the dual front stabilizer configuration. It includes a standard full travel steering stabilizer and a secondary half travel unit mounted to the front bumper bracket. This dual setup provides enhanced tuning over a single stabilizer, absorbing both small and large steering inputs to significantly reduce wheel hop and improve vehicle control while towing, hauling, or driving on rough terrain. Now I only have one shock on the table here, but both shocks are going to be equipped with NX2 nitro gas charged cartridges. This high-performance design delivers consistent dampening and quick recovery, ensuring responsive and controlled steering feedback even under heavy loads or aggressive driving conditions. The nitro gas charge prevents fade and maintains firmness in harsh environments. This kit is specifically engineered for lifted trucks ranging from 2 to 9 inch lifts. It includes extended length shafts, longer dampener mounts, and all the necessary hardware to keep your steering geometry and stabilizer attachment optimized across a wide range of lift heights. That means no guessing, just a proper fit. The stabilizers are built to support heavy-duty use, making them ideal for trucks with oversized tires or winches that might otherwise introduce some steering pull or uneven handling. Whether you're at some low speeds navigating trails and rocks or you're highway cruising, this kit works well to keep the Super Duty tracking straight and crisp. Constructed from durable materials, this kit features these rugged NX2 shock bodies with a powder coat to resist that corrosion and rust over time. The shafts are hardened and chrome plated for wear resistance, and the bushings are high density polyurethane for long service life. The kit includes black powder coated mounts and reinforced linkage to maintain alignment and stability under that heavy use. This kit is priced around the high $200 price range, and considering it includes 2 premium stabilizers, tailored for a range of lift heights and integrated for heavy usage scenarios, it's a solid value for lifted Super Duty owners looking to enhance steering feel and safety. Installation on this is moderately easy, so we're rating this a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. You can expect it to take about 3 hours to get the job done. The kit includes all the required brackets, hardware, and 2 NX2 shocks. Now, let's see exactly how that install process goes with an install video from one of our American Trucks customers.
All right, and here are all the tools that we used. We used our torque wrench. We used our hammer to tap the U-bolts in. The 3/8 ratchet. And this is voluntary. I use a 1/4 inch extension to get my spacing from my main bracket on my tie rod end. Our tape measure. Then we have our 11/16 socket for the bigger U-bolts. Our 3/4 socket and 3/4 wrench, or in my case, breaker bar with the socket for the shock mount bolts. A 3/8 ratchet, optional. You can just use your 3/8 hand ratchet, save your battery. Optional. I had to move my tie rod clamp out of the way, 15mm socket. Your 1/2 inch socket for your smaller U-bolts. And then I had a stubby 1/2 inch socket to get into the back U-bolts. And then also optional, if you wanted to put your badge in, your rivet gun, and air compressor. And then any kind of lubricant, grease. I used O-ring lubricant to get the bushings into the shocks. So now that we know we have all of our hardware, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to want to do is park the vehicle on a flat surface. Align your wheels as straight as you possibly can. And then for safety, we're going to chalk our rear wheels. Now this install can be done on a lift or on the ground here as we're going to do today. This kit is for a 2 to 9 inch lift, so odds are you'll be able to get under there with plenty of room. To start off, we're going to go ahead and grab our main bracket and our 2 larger U-bolts. We can go ahead and take these nuts and washers off. We'll take our main bracket right here. Oop, I actually got it upside down. It's going to go underneath the axle, so it's going to look like this around the axle housing. We're going to grab it right there. And then we're going to dry fit these right here, the U-bolts. We're going to go ahead and hang them, align them with the holes, and they'll drop right in. Sometimes they take a little finagling. And then if you hold it in place, grab your washer and your nut. Keep these somewhere close by so you're not fighting yourself. Thread them on. And it will temporarily hold it in place for you while you can get the rest of it situated. Yeah. And then it'll hold it for you after you get the first one put on. You can go ahead and grab your second one. Bring it around to the other side. Shift under here to get a little better visual. Line this up better. Push them through. Hold it with one hand. Grab your nut and washer. Put your washer on and put your nut on as far as you can get it with your hand. Just like that. And now that'll hold that side so we can grab our last washer and nut. Tighten it up a little bit. And get this last one on. Just be sure not to cross thread these. That's why I always try to go ahead and run them in as far as I can just with my fingers to make good and well sure I don't have it cross threaded. And now that we've got it all hung, we're gonna slide it all the way over here to touch the axle housing, right up against this. Okay, before we go any further forward, we're gonna make sure that one, our bracket right here is all the way up against our diff housing. And two, we're gonna make sure that our U-bolts are straight up and down. We don't want them to be leaning one way or the other. That can cause some serious problems down the road. These do need to be torqued to spec and then rechecked at 500 miles. So now that I've confirmed that those are good, I now know that I can move forward. That's the next step is going to be making sure that this bracket right here on the tie rod is level and at minimum 1/4 of an inch of gap between your tie rod and the bottom of this bracket. So we're gonna grab our tape measure and be right back. And here's my cheat sheet for you guys. 1/4 inch extension, put just the head of it right here on the back side of the bracket and rest it right there on the tie rod. Might take a little bit of finesse and it will get in there just perfect and hold your gap exactly. So now that we've got that in there, I'm going to use my 3/8 ratchet and an 11/16 socket to tighten up these U-bolts now. I'm only going to run them snug. Like I said earlier, they do have a torque spec. We will get to that after we get this all snugged up. And work your way back and forth with these so that you don't overdo one versus the other one. Now that those are all snugged, we're going to recheck right here with our 1/4 inch. And perfect. Perfect. Okay guys, moving right along, we're going to go to the driver's side now. We've got our driver's side mount. This side right here is what grabs around the tie rod end. See how we've got curved edges on each side? And here is our center hole for where our shock is going to mount. Now the instructions say to measure 20 1/8 of an inch from the center hole of this main bracket we just put on to the center hole of this. That is right where your bolt is going to go, center to center, 20 1/8 of an inch. We're going to put the bracket for the tie rod in on the outside, make sure that this piece is curved towards our center. So we're going to go ahead and mount this. I'm just going to ballpark it right here on the outside of the bracket, and then take my tape measure and see just how close that may or may not be before I tighten anything down, just so I can get my U-bolts in place and hold it there good before I get my precise measurement in. I'm gonna go center hole to that, center hole to that, and that is approximately 20 1/8, just like that. Just a little bit of bumping. That's all it took. Okay, so now we're gonna grab our U-bolts, our smaller set. Look up underneath here. Try not to get stuff in your eyes. Give it a few taps to line it up. Get it through the holes. There she goes. Same for the other one. I'm actually going to go ahead and put on our washer and nut on this one so it doesn't jump off from the vibration. Just a little bit more persuasion is all it needed. These are slightly tight around the axle, or around the tube, and tie rod in, which is a good thing. We want them to be snug. All right. Now I'm just gonna eyeball this. Looks fantastic. All right, now that we have that soft mounted, I'm gonna do one more measurement before I snug up the U-bolts. just to ensure we didn't move any during all that bumping. 20 1/8. Perfect. 20 1/8 of an inch. All right. What socket did these take? All right, now that we have those in the right spot, we will take our ratcheting, battery powered ratchet again, and tighten these down just to snug. These also have torque specs. We'll also make sure that our U-bolts are still straight up and down, just like we did before. Now I'm going to take one more measurement, just to be sure. You can never be too sure. 20 1/8. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to move along to the passenger side. We have our passenger side bracket. Again, this side right here is what goes along the tie rod tube. Those right there will go right inside of it. You'll have your side for your shock mount facing towards the center. So just like this. I'm gonna stick it on there just right here outside of this bracket. Give it a little pop, persuasion. Steering link is a little bit in the way of my pop. Edit this out. Hammer. Okay, so now we're gonna measure our 20 1/8 from center hole to center hole. Again, that is from our bolt hole for our shock on the center bracket and on this one. 20 1/8 right there. Okay, now that we have our soft measurement, we'll go ahead and install our U-bolts on this side, and then we'll recheck our measurement once we're there. You know what? We'll go get a hammer. I'm just gonna use some persuasion taps this time. Get around this tie rod end. All right, put that one on. Washer and a nut to hold it for us so it doesn't fall out. That one doesn't somehow fall out. Washer and a nut. Now we will put in our other U-bolt. Okay, that one in. Have a nut and a washer. It's kind of hard right here. All right, once again, we're gonna make sure our U-bolts are not crooked. This one right here is a smidge, so we're gonna give it just a little bump. These look good. Now that we're here, let's take a quick measurement. Make sure we're still at 20 1/8. All right, center hole, center hole, center hole. 20 1/8, just like that. We're perfect. I'm gonna tighten these up, and we'll be ready for some shocks. I'm not gonna get trapped. I'm gonna leave this running. Editing team, you can just edit this out. I wanna go get a shorty. I'll be back to announce that. All right, so now we'll have to switch over to our short 1/2 inch socket for these two back ones here. Okay, now that these are snug, we're gonna measure one more time. Perfect. All right, now we're ready for shocks. Okay, so we're actually gonna torque these down before we put the shocks on. We're gonna use 18 foot-pounds of torque on these outer ones. The center one is 40 foot-pounds of torque. Now with U-bolts and brackets like these, they give a little and they give somewhere else. So be sure, just because you get to 18 on every one, be sure to go back to the other ones until every single one, all 4 in a row, don't give you any more tightening. They all click at the right foot-pound. And we're also gonna keep this smooth movement just like this throughout this entire process. Any jerking can give a false reading to your torque wrench. All right, editing team, this is where you can do whatever you want, because this is gonna take a minute. All right, so now we'll move on to the other U-bolts. I just did the first U-bolt by itself right there. I went one side of the U-bolt to the other. Now I'm on a whole different U-bolt. Now when I get done with this one, I'm gonna go back to the first one and it will be loose again. Because these things just give and give and give until they're all finally at their point. Okay, now we'll go back to this first one and watch this. Whoa, I might be a liar today. Nope, there's a little bit of give. All right, this one. All right, and the back one. All right, there you have it. We'll go on to the main one. Okay, now we're ready to grease and install our bushings into our shock. We're gonna have 2 inner sleeves and 2 bushings. These little silver sleeves go inside of these, but we can wait to do that after we get these guys in here. There's multiple ways to do this. I find the easiest way to do it is with a vise. Place your bushing right in there. Place your bushing inside. Just like that. Dumps it right in there for you. We'll grab our bushing, a little bit of grease. Place it in our fingers. A little goes a long way here. Take the excess off on our handy rag. Grab the new side. Place it inside here. Pin it against our vise. And just let the vise do the work. Just like that. Same thing for these sleeves. Place them in there just like that. They'll go pretty much all the way in there, but not all the way. And again, just push it just like that. And once you bottom it out, you're there. Don't go over pressing. It's a perfect fit. I'm gonna squish this one in here. Just like that. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other shock. All right, let's go put these on the truck. Okay, so now that we've got our bushings inside of our shocks, we're gonna go ahead and mount it to the truck. The body is gonna go to the outside brackets. The rotted side is gonna go towards the center bracket. And for me, personal preference, it's a lot easier to go ahead and mount this side and then pull it to get it to extend to get to where we need it to go. Now we're gonna grab our center bracket, which is where our logo is gonna go here in a minute. We're gonna stick it on top of our big center bracket, and this is gonna go in between the center bracket and this bottom portion right here. So you see how that gap is right there? That gap is going to go right here on our center section. And we do have these bigger bolts. Remove before, so you don't fight it like me. Line it up, just like that. Put on your nut and washer. So you'll have washer on top, washer on bottom. Hand tighten that. Then you'll grab your shorter one. That is your longer bolt of the 4. You have 2 long ones, 2 short ones. Long in the center, short to the outside. So now we're gonna grab this body, pull on it. It's not too hard to get the pull out. And we're going to bring it into this bolt. First things first, we gotta tap that out of the way. Okay, so here's what I'm dealing with here, and they do mention this in the instructions to be careful about these clamps for your tie rod. So I need to get over here, but this is in my way a little bit. So what I'm gonna have to do is loosen this clamp up and just tap it with a hammer on the bracket, and it's simply just gonna move around, and then we're gonna re-tighten it down. That's not gonna hurt anything on the truck. This is just a clamp to keep the tie rod from rotating. So just remember to tighten it down once you get done with it. This is a 15mm nut right here. Not sure what it might be on your application. Loosen it up a little bit. Just like that. We'll grab our hammer. Much better. Now we will cycle everything we're done to make sure we keep that clearance. Now we're gonna tighten this back down. All right. Now we are now allowed, or able, to come back and get this shock right where we want it. Just like that. Okay, to tighten down the shocks, you're gonna need a 3/4 socket on your ratchet and a 3/4 wrench, or in my case, I have a breaker bar with a 3/4 socket on it and my 3/4 on my ratcheting battery ratchet. Just like that. So snug it up. All right, we'll move on to the next one. Same thing for the sub. We're just gonna snug it up for now. It's a little bit better than it was. Just so that way we can still move this for our next bracket. So same operation as before. Shock slides in. Longer bolt goes through, just like so. Washer, nut. Now we'll pull this one towards us. Our bolt on this clamp is clear, so that's good. We do not have to adjust it. We will pull out, bolt through, nut and washer on, and now we'll tighten this one down as well. And now we'll tighten this one down as well. And now we'll get both of these now that we're done. All right, now for the finishing touches, we're gonna put the logo plate right here in the center bracket. Now, they do come with rivets. If you do not have access to a rivet gun or rivet tool, you probably can get away with using smaller nuts and bolts, but you need to make sure you get clearance behind where this shock mount is if you do that. But that's how it's gonna look right there. Got my handy dandy rivet tool. I'm gonna put that in here just like so. Tighten it up, make sure we hold on good right here. See that snap? There she is. Collect your small little piece of scrap. Same for the next side. Push it against it. And there you have it.
All right, that's gonna wrap up our review and install of the BDS dual steering stabilizer kit with NX2 Nitro shocks for the 2 to 9 inch lifted 2005 and newer 4-wheel drive F250 Super Duties. And for all things F250, keep it right here at American Trucks.